I have the privilege of introducing our next speaker. Jessy has a degree in anthropology from Eckerd College and has been working here at the St. Pete Museum of History since 2019, and she is our archives and collections manager. Her individual research centers around women's history, pioneering St. Pete, and LGBTQ plus history. She's taken on the task of recataloging our collection over more than 50,000 artifacts, and we've been here for 101 years, so we've collected quite a few things over the years. In her spare time, she's curated and created our next exhibit that opens June 8th, which is called Meddling: The Women Who Built St. Petersburg. So make sure you check that out. Jessy's going to be leading a tour of our archives right after her talk. You can sign up at the front desk. There's a sheet there. I think she can only take 10 people at a time, so she'll be happy to take you there a couple times if we need to. And don't forget, if you're a museum member, of course, you can use the archives whenever you want at no charge just by contacting Jessy. So ladies and gentlemen, to talk to you about how you can use the museum's archives in your research, Jessy Breckenridge.
Hello. First, I want to apologize. I didn't take into account that we had a TV screen here that would not make that QR code work. So if you are looking for further information on the archives here, our website is also listed here. So the museum's archives, has anybody actually been upstairs before? Oh, we've got a few. Okay, so that's good. You don't have to pay attention to me then. So we've been collecting the Museum of History. We've been collecting since 1922. And prior to probably about the 1980s, we would just take just about anything. So we do have a very large and extensive collection of just about anything you can think of upstairs. And that ranges from physical three-dimensional artifacts. I cannot tell you how many toasters I have seen, to the paper documents. And it's really those paper documents that are going to be the things that that you guys would be interested in when it comes to researching local history. So the kinds of things that we have up there can range from photographs. We have a very large photograph collection. Over 9,000 of them have been digitized. That is not including an unknown number that have not been digitized. We're working on it. That also would include our map collection. We have a large collection of original plat maps from certain neighborhoods and areas, as well as general city maps, Florida maps, and other large flat documents like really anything you can think of, advertising from the city and beyond, as well as our large family history collection. And this one is really my favorite to work with because you never know what you're going to find there. And I always say that if you've lived in the city for any number of years, I don't care if you don't think your grandmother was important, which, you know, that's up to you and your family business, but we do. We think that anything is important. If you've lived here and you think that you might have something to say about St. Petersburg, we would love to hear it. And that can be in the format of photos, birth certificates, death certificates, correspondence. I love forking through people's old drama, so give me your correspondence, please. And any sort of little ephemera that you can think of from families. We have a pretty large collection already, which is available by appointment, which I'll get into in a minute. On top of that, we also have organizational history. So some of the organizations that have kindly, we have an arrangement to store their archives with, that includes organizations like the Daughters of the American Revolution, some organizations which are now extinct. I keep thinking of ones that I've been working in their archives for the meddling exhibit, like the Women's Town Improvement Association. We have all of their historic minutes and files, as well as some more modern organizations. The name is escaping me immediately. Baseball. Well, anyways. So on top of that, we also have some newspaper collections, subject files, histories of certain buildings, and generally, probably what you guys are interested in are homes. Is anybody wanting to research their historic homes here, or historic businesses, properties, anything like that? That is a very, very common research request that I get. So the archives is open for appointment on Thursdays and Saturdays. And if you want to really research anything, but in particular, if you are interested in researching a historic property, basically what's going to happen is you're going to have 2.5 hours or more, we can arrange that, don't worry, to comb through. We have downstairs, if you guys met me downstairs, I've got the historic Sanborn maps. Those are the insurance maps of the city, which include old footprints of what your house would look like, as well as some information on how it was constructed and any other sort of points of interest within a property. So we take a look at that, and then I give you a format to build a timeline of ownership of your home using primarily our large collection of city directories. Does anybody know what city directories are? We got a couple. So city directories are kind of like phone books, but they contain a lot more than phone books do. This way you can search for a house by its address, so you don't have to know who lived in it, and it will tell you who lived in it. And then you can go and search a person by their name, and it'll give you, hopefully, information about who they were, including their spouse or their occupation, and hopefully, if you're lucky, where they worked even. So you can build a timeline of the ownership of your house in that manner. And then we can then take that and use some of the other resources that we have to offer, which is really just using, helping you navigate the city website and city and county resources, including historic property cards and the county clerk's records website. As well as we, in appointments, can give you access to newspapers.com and ancestry.com. So really how I like to do a house research project is to figure out all of the owners and then figure out all of the dirty details about the owners, and you can really start getting a complete picture. And if you're lucky, you can find a picture, but I wish I could give you a better guarantee than that. One of the things that we're interested in starting is really getting into neighborhood research and making sure that there is that each neighborhood has been sort of turned over, and that we can have a collection of neighborhood information, so that it doesn't have to require somebody coming to us and asking for that, so that we already have it. And that's just an example. It would really depend on the project, but we've definitely done research independently for the sake of just making sure that that history has been taken. Probably one of the projects that I love doing that I've been wanting to do more of, so if anybody's interested, I've been working on an oral history project for people that have been around in the city for a long time. Your oral histories matter to me, so if you think that you have a story to tell and you don't feel like sitting down to write it, we can just sit down and have a conversation about it, and I can record it, and that is completely a proactive measure to make sure that those histories aren't lost. Thank you all.